Ayo, what is groovy? What is good? It's your boy Papa Capes, and we are back with yet another Raid Shadow Legends video. Thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description down below. Starting out with that link immediately gets you Tholen Foulbeard, and as you progress just a little bit throughout the game, you then get Ugo, Tigor, and Mausoleum Mage. Right now, you can either use code RAID7 to get Pelops the Victor or code WRATH to get Padraig. If you're looking at securing a third legendary on your account, Skeletor has returned to an in-game ongoing event that is happening right now. Simply logging in for 7 days will get you Skeletor. That is a triple legendary start right now in Raid, and using that link directly supports me, directly supports the channel, yo. Let's get into the video. So what I want to be talking about today might sound a little bit weird, but lately I found myself missing something in Raid. What I'm talking about isn't necessarily missing my old account, it's not necessarily missing the weaker champions, and it's not really struggling in campaign or struggling through arbiter missions or struggling with any content. I miss being a new player sometimes. Hear me out. When I was a new player, everything felt absolutely exciting. Wherever you looked within the game, things felt exciting. And when I started off with Supreme Gallic, and he was my legendary. So off the bat, I had a legendary and I was like, okay, cool. Didn't really understand the game because this was the first game of its nature that I played. But I had Supreme Gallic, we had Ugo, we had Tigor. And again, I'll mention this right off the bat to get it out of the way. In being new, the one thing I didn't miss was making mistakes because you simply didn't know what you were doing. And we used Tigor as food. Yes, it's an ongoing meme on the channel. It is what it is. If you saw the post, the first bit of fan art that I got, somebody turned me into a raid channel and my passive was consuming Tigors at a rapid rate. It is what it is. But you were always building champions however you thought to build those champions. You were trying new things with champions. You were experimenting. And don't get me wrong, I still experiment till today. But my experimentation is a lot more guided now because of the understanding that I have, more so than almost experimenting blindfolded, which is what I was doing when I was a newer player. But I tried a bunch of random things. I wasn't thinking, is this optimal? I was never ever thinking to myself, will this be an optimal way to build this champion? No, all that I was thinking is this going to work? Is this going to work right now? And if yes, then boom, I would use it. But when I started, I genuinely didn't know anything. And thinking back to it sometimes, that was really fun. Not saying struggling with content is fun, but like when I build champions, I remember putting Ugo in a full relentless set, because early on you get like a full relentless set, and I was like, oh, this has a chance to provide an extra turn. Let me force this set onto Ugo so that she can go again and again and again and again. And I always went to sets over stats when I started. Always. If there was a gear set that I could use, I would ensure that I was forcing the set over the stat. But I was just playing the game. I was literally just playing the game, gradually making my way through arbiter missions, through campaign, and early campaign is super easy. Like normal campaign, hard campaign, so easy. You don't actually have to know anything other than, well, at least this is what I thought. When I had an attack champion, which was Supreme Gallic at the time, I would make sure that I'm putting on gear that had attack stats. That's it. My gloves were attack percentage, my chest was attack percentage, or flat attacks, gloves as well, flat attack, and I never ever knew how important speed was, so I never had speed on my boots. But then also, like, every single thing was a milestone, and the milestones were so easily achievable, and you could do multiple milestones rapidly. For example, my first legendary was secured because I started with the link that you guys can now also do, but I'm sure there was a time in Raid where there was no starter link. So you would then think about, as a newer player, I need my first legendary. But at that time I had my first legendary and I was like, okay, how do I get him to level 60? That's a big thing. I need to get my champion to level 60. Then after that, it's thinking about, how do I secure my first chest in Clan Boss? How do I ensure that I build 5 champions that I can take into easy Clan Boss so that I can secure that first chest? Because as a newer player, once you get access to Clan Boss, and if you've done even just a little bit of research into what the aim of the game is, where to get rewards from, you will end up going to Clan Boss. And then you're like, okay, cool. The first Clan Boss I can fight is easy Clan Boss. I need 1.15 million damage to get that chest. Boom. let me secure that damage in the chest. But also, you're going to ask yourself, how much damage do I need to quick battle this content? Because if I can quick battle it, that gives me more time to do other content. Once you then secure the chest on said clan boss, you then find out as a newer player that depleting the clan boss's HP entirely, so finishing the clan boss in that difficulty, gives you 2 chests. And these are all things that were super excited back in the day when I was a newer player. Then your first faction crypt clear. You finally have at least 5 champions that don't include commons and uncommons, but you've got 5 champions from the same faction, and you can now start with faction wars, and you start clearing it, you make your way to the first boss, and this whole concept is exciting because first of all, you don't have a single champion, then all of a sudden you've got 5 champions, whether they're good or not, whether they're meta or not. I remember that didn't matter to me. I just wanted 5 champions because that was one of the criteria you needed to meet in order to get 3 stars. So just something that simple, getting 5 champions from the same faction was massive. But nowadays, just over a year in the game, you complete a bit of content and you instantly move on. You finish Doom Tower normal, you go to Doom Tower hard. You finish Doom Tower hard, you move on to Grim Forest normal, Grim Forest hard, Curse City normal, Curse City hard. You transition between content so much easier that the milestones that used to matter so much back in the day as a newer player is just something now that you check off a checkbox. There's like a mental checkbox that we have and just make sure, okay, I can do this, I can do that. And I'm not saying that's wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I miss newer accounts because of weaker champions or going back to pay silver for gear. Or I'm not saying the game was better when I was a new player. I'm just saying there was a lot more that excited me about playing the game and the certain things that happened within the game that excited me more so than what it does now. Like, let's say, for example, now I'm able to 2-key Ultra Nightmare. Let's say I'm able to 1-key Ultra Nightmare. I'll just be like, okay, I can 1-key Ultra Nightmare and move on to the next thing that I'm chasing. Back then, you finish easy clan boss and you send a message for like a week. Yo, I can do clan boss, I can do clan boss. And you're only doing easy clan boss. So it's just different. It's just different. So the funny thing about all of this is that I've established, because I've been pondering on this for quite some time now. And it's not the game that has changed. Granted, the game has changed. There is a lot of changes that have happened within the last year since I started playing Raid, and some of you have been playing for 6-7 years. I accept that the game has changed in multiple different ways, different elements, different dynamics. But I think the reason that I maybe find myself sometimes missing being a new player is that I have changed as a player of the game. Because now topics of conversation involve efficiency, planning, saving, and resource management. And those were 4 topics, well, at least for me, those were 4 topics in the first month of playing Raid I never thought about, not once. Never ever thought about it. As soon as I got shards, I would open them all, regardless of the color. Ancient, mystery, regardless of sacred, void, whatever color the shard was, it wouldn't matter. When I got a shard, I pulled a shard. and then it brings me back to, especially in the Discord, with a lot of newer players coming in, because there were many of us that started with my link, and we started a clan with everybody that started with that link, and there's a lot of newer players that we then opened the clan up to. One thing I've learned from just communicating and conversing with these newer players is that they just get excited to spend resources. And I mean, so do I, right? I get excited to spend my resources. We almost went for a fusion, not because of the fusion champ, but because we were able to spend our resources. But the big differentiating factor is that new players spend resources because they're excited, whereas veteran players, excluding myself, I don't see myself as a veteran player as yet. Veteran players spend their resources because they've calculated it. So don't get me wrong, again, I'm not saying that the game was better back then, because the game is way better now. I mean, let's go back to free gear removal being a thing. It wasn't always a thing. You had to pay to remove gear. Let's go back to once you get past that initial wave of resources you get as a newer player, those resources are gone and you don't have access to as many varieties of content to make back those resources. For example, Doom Tower, Grim Forest, Curse City, these are all areas in the game that provide additional resources that you don't necessarily have access to as a newer player. So as a new player as well, you would get stuck everywhere. I still get stuck till today, but it's easier for me to do like a process of elimination right now because of my understanding to find out why I'm stuck. As a newer player, you'd get stuck everywhere and just not know why you're getting stuck or what you're lacking until you do some research. So in no way, shape or form am I saying the game was better when I started. That's not what I'm saying at all. To sum it up, I'd never trade my account right now for my account back then. That is a no-brainer. I'm sure all of you watching would also understand and be in the same situation where you never trade your account as it is now for your account back then. But there are certain things that were more exciting as a newer player than they are now. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about. I think it's safe to say that what I miss is discovery. What I miss is the curiosity element, the feeling that every single champion could possibly change my account. Now I'm in a place where I know exactly what champions I might need. Not all of them, but I know what they would bring to the table. I know surface level what my team roster would need or what would benefit to add value to my current and existing team rosters. These are the things that I'm familiar with now. But back then, I just wanted new champions. And every single day that I would load up Raid, I would literally learn something new. And I think the exciting part about that is that still happens. That still happens. Maybe not every day, but I still find myself in a place where I'm learning something new super consistently. That then does like a full circle. So the answer, or what I'm thinking about, is not, oh, I wish I was a newer player. It's just that I need to find ways to keep that curiosity alive. I need to find ways to ensure that I still find myself experimenting with builds. I still maybe go out of my way to build weird champs that aren't meta, or champs that I didn't see a content creator speaking about, or something like that. Just experimenting with builds. It is free now. I'm not going to lose any silver. And if I get to a place where I put the gear on them and they actually show potential, then I can invest in the books, and then I can invest in the masteries if needed. But I just feel like I need to stop necessarily obsessing over efficiency. I'm not saying that efficiency is bad, because we all know that efficiency is really, really good. But I think that for me at least, when I overthink efficiency, it completely negates my ability to experiment. And that could just be because of my lack of understanding. Obviously, there's so many of you out there who are more knowledgeable than me, who've been playing for longer than I have, and you still find ways in between fusions and in between events to utilize your resources in an efficient manner. Whereas for me, I don't yet know that, because I haven't done these fusions or events as often as you have. Many of you have commented on the amount of energy that I've got in my account, but this is just what works for me. This is how I'm able to save energy, so that if I need energy for an event that I'm deciding to go for, it's there at my fingertips. So just to double back, quick story time. Guys, this most recent fragment from Chimera evaded me. I got 2 chests in normal, I got 2 chests in easy, not a single Embreeze frag. To sum it all up and to go full circle, my account is way stronger now than it ever was. It's genuinely way stronger. It is more powerful. It's got access to more varieties of content. I do not regret not being a new player. But there's just something special about the experience as a newer player in Raid. And especially for me, having come into Raid as the first game of its kind, the first game in the genre, there were so many things that were new to me. Similarities to other games, like The Division, for example, the first one that comes to mind. The way I would build my agent in The Division and the gear was easy to translate into Raid. Therefore, I could understand some of the things about gear. But obviously, every game has its nuances that changes the way things are done. But yeah, there's just something about those first few weeks, first few months in Raid that would be so cool to experience again for the first time. I keep saying it, with a good series or a good movie, I wish I was in the place to watch it again for the first time because of how good it is. And that is where I find myself. And that's probably a nice way to close it off. That I'm not saying the game was better back then, but I'm just saying that I can't put my finger on it. But there's just something that I miss about being a new player in Raid. Wouldn't trade my account for anything. I wouldn't go back there and lose what I have here to go back there. Definitely not. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm sure you get it. I'm sure you get it. What do you miss? If you find yourself watching this video and something maybe resonates, what do you miss about being a newer player in Raid? Are there certain scenarios or certain instances, even mistakes that you can recall yourself making as a newer player that you can look back at now and laugh and maybe miss, and just that nostalgia of being a newer player? Let me know down in the comments below. I literally enjoy conversing with you guys, debating with you guys. Being a part of your journey through what you allow for me to be a part of via your comments is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot thank you enough. But in the same sentence, whilst you're in the comments, let me know what you never want to experience again with the Raid. For me personally, I never ever want to find myself in a position where I need to pay silver just to put my gear onto a different champ, or to experiment with gear, or to any changes I make to my gear, I never want to go back to a time where I have to pay for that in silver. So yeah, that's the end of this one. Thank you so much once again to Raid for sponsoring this video. I truly appreciate it, and for hooking us up with our own download link that you guys can find in the description below. Using that link directly supports me, directly supports the channel. Have a fantastic week. Keep in mind, happiness is a choice. Kindness is absolutely free. Leave your mark, yo. Peace out.